Hello again. I I realize that I have not been very here at all because not gonna lie, I'm so busy with school and uni and everything. But we're back, baby. We're back and getting back into the podcast, and we're just gonna act like that week did not happen. At least I will do that. First of all, you probably are realizing this, but there is a little bit of a scene change. I got a new bed. Finally. I don't have a bunk bed that I hit my head against every 2 seconds. I got a new bed. I got Christmas lights, which you don't see. I tried making this camera direct, like, I wanted you to see the decorations, but you cannot see the decorations because I haven't figured out how to place my camera in the right place. But I hope next time you will see my little Christmas decorations. And if not, baby, I'll move it here. They're movable. We will move them. And I bought Final Cut Pro, which is gonna severely help me with my issue with editing and sound audio synchronization. I need to synchronize my audio in a better way because it takes me literally 2 hours to edit these videos, to edit the podcast videos, when it could literally be taking me 10 minutes. So, I am so excited though. I have been in the worst mood for 2 weeks. And I just think it's because we're at the point where it's almost Christmas, but we're still in school and we still have to have responsibilities, and that makes everything so depressing because not only does it get dark so early, it's freezing. I don't know if it's me or if the weather's actually getting colder, but wow, it is freezing. uh, and it's not even snowing. Might as well snow. Might as well make my mood a little bit better. But no, it freezes and then it rains. And then I'm standing there with 3 layers on, still freezing. And it's not even Christmas. It's what I am doing though to make my mood better is putting on Christmas music. I don't know what is so comforting about that, but the amount of nostalgia it brings me, it's unparalleled. There's nothing like turning Christmas music on with lights in your room, a candle, maybe, while doing your homework so that you feel like you're actually doing something enjoyable for the first time in your life. And just waiting for Christmas. I love Christmas. I love spending it with my family. This year I have a boyfriend that I'm going to spend it with. We're thriving. We're absolutely thriving. And just speaking of thriving, I watched The Menu. This is a new movie with Anya Taylor-Joy and Voldemort, the guy that played Voldemort. I'm so sorry, I forgot the actor's name. We love him though. It's so good. It's a very good movie. A very good movie. I highly recommend. It's so like dark humor slash just shock. Just they shock you. They do some disturbing things and then they make you laugh and then you don't know what to feel. You don't know if you're shocked. You don't know if you're kind of traumatized. You probably are, but you don't care because it's funny and you're just waiting to see what happens next. I'm literally obsessed. I love that movie. I rate it very highly, and I genuinely recommend to every person watching this right now or listening to this right now, please watch The Menu. Thank you. Okay, let's get into the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about friends in uni and friends out of high school specifically. I feel like I've actually been thinking a lot about social life outside of high school and how different it is, but also the similarities between university and high school friends. But I wanted to let you know that this is my own personal experience. Everyone is obviously different with how they make friends. Not only that, but a lot of people have social anxiety or there's a lot of factors that play into making friends, as well as the fact that I had a good social experience in high school, which I've noticed is not incredibly common. Um, but that definitely made it a little bit different because I know a lot of people that haven't had a good social experience in high school, and then that has become very, very amazing in university, and they found actual friends in university. But for me, it's been like high school was really good because I was there for so long that at one point you just make friends and make connections, and you get used to all these friends and connections, and you can really be yourself, and then all of a sudden you're catapulted into another environment with none of those people around you, and you have to just start all over again. Whereas with some people, you go to the same university with your friends sometimes if you're in the same city and stuff like that, and it's like it doesn't really change much because you, yeah, there's new people, but you still have like the people that you knew from before. Also, the thing is, like, we were in high school, you're just trapped with these people. You don't, I'm not saying you have a choice in university, but I think you have more time to broaden your horizons in university, or at least like to do different things outside of school. Because in uni, you're at school for like half the time that you were in high school. Like, let's say you have a lecture a day, that's 2 hours, or double lecture, that's 4 hours. That's nothing compared to high school. Like, every day, the whole day, you're there with the same people. You're kind of trapped in this circle, and you don't, the classes are really small, and you kind of just don't have a choice but to get to know the people. And on one hand, I feel like that really makes it easier to make friends because one way or another, you're going to start talking to this person, whether it's a randomly assigned group or a group presentation or something. You're bound to talk to somebody, or whether it is like talking about your presentation or some random stuff. If your friend is not there one day, then you start talking to this random person in class and you realize, oh, this is actually a pretty cool person. And I think it was much easier as well to do things after school. I feel like in uni, people start really feeling the grit of responsibility, whether it's like figuring out things at home, or getting a job and like going to work every day, or doing uni homework, because while you're not at school as much, you also don't get as much, you also have more homework. So like in high school, you go to school the whole day, but then you have less homework when you compare it with uni work. It honestly depends on the course, but I feel like for most cases, that's it. Like, you have less time at school because it's mostly just self studying. So a lot of people just have things to do after school, whereas in high school, it's like, yeah, we have homework, but like, first of all, we're probably in the same city if we're in the same high school, so it's easier to meet up. And also, we kind of we live with our parents, and I know for a lot of people that might not mean that they have more time, but usually if you live under your parents' roof, that doesn't really require you to pay your bills, so you don't really have a job, or you have a job. It really depends, but most of the time it's easier to just meet up with your friends after school, which helps connections even more. And my battery, I have had to pause many times. Most people, yeah, we were okay, this is kind of funny. We were all kind of desperate for attention. In high school, I feel like when you're going through puberty, you are so insecure and desperate and lonely, and all of these hormones are going through your body, and you're just like, I need companionship. And it's easier, I feel like, since we go through so many similar things in high school, like puberty, I feel like we like boy issues, the dumb shit. I feel like it's way easier to connect with people because you have like common ground. And if you take, like, we obviously take the same classes in high school, it's the mandatory math, chemistry, physics shit. You can talk about your subjects and how much you hate math or some shit like that. And it's like way easier to find subjects that you can talk about that are relatable. Whereas in uni, it's like, I think people are like, I don't think people know who they are yet. That's for sure. I mean, I don't think many people do. But at least you kind of know what you like and you don't like at that point. You kind of know what kind of people you like. You've chosen a study, so you kind of know which direction you're going in most of the time. And then it's more niche. Our interests are more niche. We start understanding more about ourselves. We start getting our own problems that many people might not understand. And it just gets a little bit more complicated. So making connections with people can sometimes seem like not only a waste of time, but just more difficult because everybody is a little bit more complicated at that point. And I think at that point, we also just have more connections either from high school or from just different areas. So a lot of us don't even feel like making new friends. But it's also just the amount of time that you stay in high school. A bachelor's course is 3 years, or 4 years sometimes, or yeah, two. I don't know. My bachelor's course is 3 years. High school is 7. Like you have so much time, and it's so much time to get comfortable, so much time to get to know the people in your class, so much time to like really make a relationship and like build it up from scratch and make it into something best friends type shit. But with uni, it's like you're not really there for a long time, and people who go to a uni don't really stay in the country maybe afterwards. Maybe they want to go abroad. Maybe they want to do their masters in another place. So it's not really guaranteed that they're going to be there that much. Um, and that feels a little bit like it feels a little bit difficult to make friends because you're like, well, if I'm going away, why would I? Yeah, I guess why would I even make friends? Or some people are a little bit more, a lot of people just don't like the fact that they might have to leave and then redo everything again, so it hinders them from actually making genuine connections, which I'm definitely very guilty of. Like sometimes I feel like, oh, I'm leaving anyway, so why would I even make connections? And it's like, well, that's not really the point. The point is to have companionship, eat and learn from a friendship. It's not about the time you spend with a person, it's about the quality of the time that you spend with them and the things you learn and the things you experience, the memories that you have with them. And I guess the routine of high school kind of helped me organize my thoughts and kind of helped me become more balanced and controlled in a way. And so that made me a little bit more confident to talk to people because I know what to expect from high school. I know all of these things, but I've only been in uni for 2 months. And while I'm kind of getting used to the whole thing, your classes change every semester. So, or every block, as we call it. So you kind of feel like you always feel like something's changing, and that can really impact your confidence as a person and also impact your sense of routine. So you're so like interested in what you're supposed to be doing and you're so in your head that you can't really connect with people in the same way as when you're in high school and like you pretty much have the same classes for years and you're kind of just done and you're wondering what else you can do, so you make some friends. And I guess also with high school, you get a lot of more house parties. Here, I feel like if I had a house party, my neighbors would complain, and that's the end of the house party. Or either that, or like people just don't have the money to supply with drinks. Or people just go out to the clubs because why would you have a house party when you can go out clubbing with your friends? That's pretty much it. But I think in high school, since you have so many house parties because you can't really go to the clubs, um, it's everybody's kind of vulnerable, you know, and we're kind of just shoved in this one place. You need to kind of talk to people, and since you're in the class, maybe somebody just invites you because they've invited the whole class, and that's another out of school experience where you're kind of forced to talk to people and kind of forced into a friendship. And if like something crazy happens during the party, then you have like something to talk about for the next, I don't know, 3 years of your life, because people do not let shit go in high school. If you do something stupid at a party, you'll be known for that. But that also kind of increases your chances at being like, having something to talk about and having friends. Here's the thing about Making friends in uni. I don't drink water, and this is why it my voice is my voice. Making friends in uni, it's a completely different setting. Like, you just completely change your setting, and that already makes you feel like you're out of it. That already makes you feel like you don't know what you're doing, and everybody's kind of intimidating. In uni, the outfits, I thought people in high school were trying to slay, but in uni, people are slaying all day, and it's so intimidating. People are so intimidating in uni. And it's not only that, but like in high school, you're the same age pretty much with everybody in your class. In uni, I'm one of the youngest people, and I'm just like, how? And it just feels weird because it feels like everybody's on this different path or like different stage of their life. And it's really fun to get to know people like that, but it's also kind of intimidating because you feel like they're so much more grown up than you, and you're like, wow, you're 21 years old, I'm 18. You just feel like you're on a completely different planet with completely different people. You feel like they're like, this, I guess, authority over you. I don't know what it is, but it just feels intimidating when you meet people that old. They're not old, they're very, very young people, but to an 18-year-old, 21 sounds 10 years later instead of 3. Oh my god, don't talk to me. Do not talk to me. And I guess people just have serious priorities now, like either whether it's paying your bills or figuring out insurances, getting your driver's license, having family problems, relationship problems. Some people have kids. You don't know what's going on in somebody's life. In high school, a lot of people are just predictable, but in uni, it's like, oh, I can't hang out today, I just have to do this. And you're like, oh, and or I have to go to an internship, I have to go to a society, like people join fraternities and people join associations, so that's also an added priority in your life. People do honors courses, so they have so much work to do because they want to like get on top of their course. um and I guess nobody really talks in, like, you can't really talk in lectures. The most that you talk is in seminars, and that's the friends that you really make most of the time, because seminar groups are like just 20 people, so basically a classroom, whereas lectures can be like 200, 300 people, and nobody talks to each other because like it's just the lecturer giving a lecture and you're just there to listen and to learn. And since it's uni, like, you take it seriously because it's your choice and it's your future and everything like that, and it's kind of awkward to just sit next to someone that you don't know and you're just like, hey, let's talk the whole lecture. Like, it's really annoying for the people around you, so it's not really something you can do. But seminars are where you make your friends. That's, I feel like it does take longer though to get to know people because it's also kind of like a class environment. People take it more seriously, but it is where you are most likely to meet your friends and where you actually talk to people and have group discussions and get to know those people and their opinions and how they think, and learn from them pretty much. But I think actually making a connection with them takes longer only because of the amount of time. I think 6 hours a week, or yeah, something like that, is the amount of time you spend with them in total, whereas that's pretty much one day in high school times 7, so 42 hours. So it definitely, you have less time to like get to know them. Doesn't mean you can't go out with them, but as I said, people have priorities, so you don't know if you can go out with them. um I guess hanging out means spending a lot more money as well. Like, if you want to actually get to know this person, you could go to each other's houses, but you don't know if they live close, first of all. Second of all, you don't know what their living situation is. And usually people want to do something. So, like, they want to go out, they want to go to the clubs, or they want to go to a movie, and that shit costs money. And when you're a uni student, you're trying, like, to feed yourself and to pay your rent and to, like, still try to have fun throughout that. So kind of it's difficult to make really interesting plans with people unless you know them, because when you know, like when you're a really good friend with somebody, they can just hang out at home and you can talk indefinitely. But when it's somebody that you don't know, you want to kind of establish a connection and get to know their interests. So you're like, what do you like to do? And they're like, oh, I like to go to museums. And then you try to buy a ticket and it's 20 euros and you're like, I could either buy this ticket or I could eat. So I don't know about that. um so that also is a factor of difficulty that you have to get through. How I've managed to make friends in uni so far. It's been 2 months. I'm not about to give you like, oh, I have 20 friends and they're all besties. Like, I have like 3 friends, and I think that's amazing. I think 3 friends, perfect amount. You don't need any more than 3 friends. Not gonna lie. I live with roommates, and I think that is a game changer. Living with roommates is just ingrained friends. I really recommend doing a viewing and getting to know your roommates before you move in, just to make sure that like you're moving in with somebody who you're compatible with and also somebody that you can actually connect with. My roommates are we have like the same personality, so it's really easy to make jokes, have the same humor. So important. And it's kind of like built-in friends. And the more roommates, the more chance you'll find somebody that you really like. Um, so I really recommend living with roommates if you're comfortable with that, obviously. And also, being open and talkative to their friends as well. Like, if you manage to make one friend, try to make friends with their friends. I think that's one of the only ways that you can broaden your horizons. So if somebody brings a friend home, you can be like, oh, hey, hi, I'm Yana, like, nice to meet you. And kind of just hang out with them if they're okay with that. Like, hang out with them and like talk to them and ask more about them. Because I got a friend through my roommate, who's also a really good friend of mine. And like, it was really nice because she was at my house, so it's not like I'm intruding because it's my living room as well. And she was just really fun, and we had like really good conversations because I was open to the idea of like, oh, I want to have a good conversation with this person. I want to introduce myself, be polite, make sure that they feel at home. And you don't have to be friends with them. If you don't like their vibe, it's fine. Just try it out. Try to make them feel at home. And if you guys click, you click. And if you don't, you don't. I think the biggest thing with friendships in uni is that you're not scared of failure. You're going to have a lot of people that just don't like you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, some people just don't give a fuck about you. They don't like you. They don't want to talk to you. People are either really scared of making friends, talking to new people, social anxiety. Maybe they just don't want to make more friends. Maybe they get bad vibes from you. It doesn't really, sometimes it just does not say anything about you, and you're going to get some failures and some rejections. I think the most important thing is that you don't let that get you down, and you don't let that stop you from trying to make friends. It just means that this person was not compatible with you, and that shit happens sometimes, and it sucks and it makes you feel kind of bad. But as long as you remember that most of the time this is not your fault, or you can even learn from it, be like, well, maybe next time I shouldn't go on too much or too little. I should like think about how I introduce myself. It's just a learning opportunity. I also went to the movies with my friends, with the people from my class. So we kind of made like a group chat with the class so that we could ask each other and talk to each other. Like, if you have an annoying professor, you can like kind of gossip about them in the group chat. Also, if you like want to talk about each other's grades, talk about an assignment, and then at one point you're just like, hey guys, do you want to hang out? Do you want to go to a movie, or do you want to go out to this drink event thing? They're like, oh yeah, that sounds kind of fun. So you go out with them and you see how it is, and you find the people that you like from the class and the people that you don't like from the class. And then you kind of just text them privately and shit. But that's a really good way as well to just improve connection, is to make a group chat. Whether or not it's about like mundane university things, it's still communication and connection. And like, people make jokes from time to time, and you can see what kind of humor they have, and if you like are compatible with their humor. And asking somebody if they want to go for a quick drink. asking if somebody wants to study together at the library or grab a coffee during class or between classes. Like, I think the first day we went to grab a coffee with the whole class, and we were just there drinking our coffee, talking, like getting to know each other. That was a really good first step. Um, and I think studying is also a really good idea because not only are you in the same class, you can ask each other for help or you can complain about the homework or whatever, but it also doesn't really require that much communication. It's the same as the movies or the clubs. Like, if you feel kind of socially anxious or uncomfortable to talk to somebody for the first time, you can just go to the library, study together, because then that's kind of still a connection. Like, oh, we're in this together, we're motivating each other to study, we're like, we have a common goal, and we're working towards the same thing. But it doesn't mean that you have to be like always on socially. It's great if you just don't have that big of a social battery, but you still want to spend time with somebody that you like, um, which is great. I signed myself up to a lot of student associations that plan activities for the especially international students, but also just for students in general. There's an association for my specific course, which is great because we can relate with the course that we do, and obviously with people in the same course most of the time you have the same interests, especially in the faculty of arts where you especially media students, I think, have the same vibes and have the same like interests. You know, somebody wants to do radio, somebody wants to do journalism, you just love communication and shit like that. So there's that. But also just the general student associations are really fun because they make specific activities. Like now they're making activities for the football matches and the FIFA World Cups. And like that's great because people who like football or who are interested or who want to like support their country can go to these viewings and like have a drink and talk and meet new people, with a shared interest instead of just like going to a random party and being like, well, there's not really a shared interest here. Whereas like there was a writing club that I joined. Obviously the shared interest here is writing and creating content. So that's, and then we like grade our, well, grade, give feedback to each other, and learn from each other and connect with each other and stuff like that. So that those things are great when you want to do something creative or something that you're actually interested in, while also learning from people and meeting new people to become friends with in the future, hopefully. I got a job, and it's great because I get to know a lot of colleagues. I work for a job that has a lot of people working for them, and we work for different companies. So sometimes you get the same colleague over and over again, and you're like, yes, because it's like your favorite colleague. You just kind of like make fun of each other sometimes or have some inside jokes. You get to know each other. And my work sometimes organizes like kind of like colleague outings. We did like a boxing class once, so we got to know each other through that, as well as just kind of having like a joint effort of we're doing this job right now. Either the job is kind of shitty or stressful or something, so you can connect like that, or you like the job and you want to talk to each other. It's just a great way to have a connection with somebody because you're both working, and a lot of jobs require teamwork and collaboration and making sure that you both are helping each other out. And that's just a recipe for friendship a lot of the times. Finding people that are from the same country as you sometimes works. I don't really think it works for me that much, but I know that there's a lot of Bulgarians in my city, which is great because, I mean, at least you can kind of relate to people through where they're from. Sometimes it's kind of awkward if they've never really lived there, that they're just from there. Like, I mean, I've lived in Bulgaria the first 5 years of my life, so it's not like it's home. I feel more integrated in the culture here. However, it's still really nice because Bulgarian culture is so rich and preserved. Like, Bulgarians really enjoy preserving their culture and just traditions, and a lot of Bulgarian parents are the same. Like, there's so many things to relate to another Bulgarian with, as well as just the language in general. So I think finding somebody from your country when you know that country is very culturally preserved, and also the language is beautiful and everything like that, like, and you know that you can relate to them in some type of way, is really a wonderful idea. Whether you like them or not, you'll figure that out, but it's a good starting point. And maybe their parents can be friends with your parents, because Bulgarian parents, if they like the parent of your friend, you're gonna see that friend a lot. You might have a fight with that friend, but you're going to see that friend at a family function. Just be careful. You better like this girl, because you're gonna see her for a very long time. I have a best friend from Bulgaria. Thank God I love this girl. But oh my God, if I did not like her, this would be a recipe for disaster, because our parents became friends, and that's the end of it. This person is your sibling from now on. You'll spend that much time with them. You'll go on vacation with them. You'll spend holidays with them. You're gonna see your parents get drunk at night with them. You gotta like this person. It is time for small talk. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Small talk is very awkward. Do I enjoy it? Not particularly. How are you? How's your day? It's very cold out here, right? But sometimes small talk can lead to big talk. Sometimes small talk can lead to deep conversations. You can be like, gosh, the winter is really cold. Like, I get a little bit, down under the weather and stuff like that. And then the person's like, yeah, like seasonal depression sucks. And you're like, you also have seasonal depression? Common ground. You find common ground with small talk. It starts off incredibly awkward. But I think a lot of friendships and relationships start off incredibly awkward. And if it's not awkward, it's uncomfortable. If it's not uncomfortable, it's nerve-wracking. It just does not start very savory, very sweet, very... Guys, just don't talk to me right now. It starts off very interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. But over time, as you kind of get used to each other's energy, you will realize that, hey, I like this person and I'm kind of comfortable with them. When they start being comfortable with you being a fucking weirdo, that's how you know. That's how you know you've gotten past the stage of awkward small talk and into the stage of we understand each other. Oh, this is great. Insert random jokes or talk to people. 10% on my phone. We gotta wrap this up. Insert random jokes or talk to people after exams. People need comfort. Ooh, exam talk. I like that. The exam hall. One of the most amazing places. I've talked to a lot of people during exams, after classes, after lectures, random shit. And I just go up to somebody and I'm like, wow, I love your outfit. Or I make a very bad joke. And they laugh because they're nervous. Especially after an exam, there's so much adrenaline going through that body. They will laugh at your stupid joke. And that's how you can make a friend. Through their inability to, make decisions in their mind of whether or not they actually want to talk to you. Grab that chance and talk to them first. And they don't have a choice. They're so in their head about themselves that they need a distraction. And you're there to help them. And honestly, that's kind of like, that makes them a little bit more comfortable with you, because you've managed to get them out of a stressful situation now. So you can always just say hi, like, how did you think of the test? Like, I've seen you around. I really like your outfit, or I really like your hair. Like, start with a compliment. A lot of the times that really works. Start with a common thing that happened recently for both of you. Try to find common ground. If you like somebody's tattoos, ask them about their tattoos. Ask them about, if they want to talk about it, of course. Ask them about, like, maybe future tattoos that they want to do. Like, there's so many different types of things that you can do, and kind of try to think like an interviewer, but not too much, because that's kind of fucking weird. But try to go off of what they've said previously and really listen to what they're saying, instead of like being scared of what you will say, or if you're gonna say the wrong thing. Because like if you say the wrong thing, they don't like what you say, like maybe that's just not the person for you, and you shouldn't be too in your head when you're trying to make a friend. Sometimes I guess the thing that I want to make myself feel better about is the fact that I'm kind of sad that a lot of some of my friendships in high school did not last very long, or did not last as strongly as I thought they were gonna. I think that's just normal, especially if you're moving to different parts of the country or something. Obviously, you're not gonna have a lot of time, or you're gonna just find different friends and change your surroundings and become a different person. And it's normal to fall out of friendships with people, and you might reconnect at a later time. But for now, like, I think it's normal for most of the friendships to kind of sizzle down because people get really stressed and really busy. So I would usually say try to reconnect with them during the holidays. That's probably the best thing. But I can't really tell you that it's gonna last. And I don't think that's really that bad of a thing, because then that means you're moving on to something different. It means you're evolving as a human being. It's not always bad. It might take more time and effort, but that also might make it more worthwhile. Things usually, quality things take a lot more time and effort, and that's why they're so fulfilling, because you've put so much energy in this and it actually gives you something back. However, if you feel like you're not getting anything back, I would not put so much time and energy if the other person is not reciprocating that effort. I'm not alone. Like, I think we should all think, like, at least for me, I'm not alone. I have friends from high school that I still keep in touch with. I have my parents, thank God. I have my boyfriend. They are far away from me, but I have them, and I can text them, and I can call them, and I can talk to them, and I can just have that type of social, just any social interaction. And also, like, I've been here for only 3 months, so I haven't really gotten my roots in here yet. I haven't really gotten used to the whole place, and I think I have plenty of time. I have 2.5 years left, and I think after your first year, you kind of have way more roots and way more, you've had so much more time to like adapt and everything like that. And one or two friends, some people might think that's a little, some people might think that's a lot. It's all arbitrary. If you enjoy your time with these people and if you are having fun, it does not matter how many friends you have. It matters the type of memories that you can make with them. And we're all worthy. We should all be honest about ourselves and who we are. Don't try to boost yourself up because you feel like you're not worth it enough or good enough or funny enough. You are who you are, and there's always going to be somebody that loves you for it. Whether or not they're difficult to find or it takes long to find them, you will find them. And I think we should all just, it's, some things are just not under our control. And during that time, try to work on yourself and your independence. If you are alone a lot of the time, think about, okay, but what do I do when I'm alone? What do I enjoy doing? Do I have some type of creative outlet that I can have? Can I play games? Maybe watch movies, read books, go to the gym? Try to like improve yourself in some way, spend time with yourself, treat yourself as your friend until you find people that you can do things with. Because you're not going to be with these people forever. There's always going to be moments in your life when you feel alone or when you are alone, and you have to know how to deal with that instead of just finding people, even if they're toxic, to like spend your time with them, because that can really affect your quality of life. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Life Goes On podcast. Subscribe to Spotify, follow me on Spotify and on Instagram. The links will be down below, and on SoundCloud if you don't have Spotify or whatever. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. I promise I will be here next week, as I usually am. I love you all. I'm very grateful for you. I'm happy you joined me today, and I hope this podcast was helpful. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you're watching. And yeah, slay. And I hope you have a wonderful start of December. Okay, I'm good. Bye-bye.